Oh, welcome. I got another video of explaining painting, acid, use of acid for uh, flash glass, different paints, silver stains, you name it, leaded work, basically the whole gambit here. Uh, the window is a family friend actually for their front door. And he's Scottish and a really nice guy. He's a appliance repairman, and he's known my parents for many years. And well, we gifted him back a nice window for his front door. I said, "Well, what do you like?" And he goes, "Well, I like the Doers, the Scotsman." So I said, "Oh, all right." That's not going to be easy to do. So not, but the challenge. Whenever you got a challenge, you always face it and go for it. And say, all right, let's see what we can do. So we did, and without any more delays, just want to show you what we came up with, and I'll go from top to bottom. This is done with lead, quarter-inch lead and mostly quarter-inch H round lead, and I'll breeze through it quickly. You have a lot of painted work. The face naturally. You got a collar. Whether it's that a bonnet or the headgear, and it's hard to see, but there's red in here, red and white. We used for the red, where you see red, that's red flashed glass, which is hand blown glass with a thin coating of red on it. And in this case, it was the red on white. You can get red on clear, basically a combination of different colors, but this was actually red on white, which worked out really well for this window. And we're discussing flash glass. The other flash glass we used was the blue. There's this, the scarfing and, going down. Just scroll down. And the kilt, this is all blue flash glass, red flash here, the red on white. And then we had over here, we used a regular, let's say, use the red on white, or we used a regular white glass, and we painted the tassels here with black, tracing black paint with highlights in it. I mean, unfortunately, the picture was taken, I'm going to say, the early 80s. So the quality of it's probably a good camera, but the quality of the photography back then is nothing like today. But this was all like, hairs, fine details scribed in with a sharp pen. And we had like these other type feathers. I believe they're like like a feather or some type of material. And then up here we had the flat flash blue. Yeah, this was actually part of the flash blue, and we removed the flashing here and silver stained it, gave it a edging for the medallion, and you had some other elements of this window. This sash here was done with regular white glass and a silver stain. I believe it's just a silver yellow number 2, I believe the number was. As of the silver stain up here, I did use the intense yellow or orange actually for in areas, and here, here, and up here. Let's see, up right in here. And for the face, we used the red for flesh. It's just a basic, regular paint for red for flesh. It comes out. It must have a bit of enamel in it, but it fires up in nice flesh tones. That's what we use for the face. So up here we have the flash red on white. Red on white here, red on white here, red on white here. Red on white here, here, and let's see. Oh, also the boots. The boots were red on white as well. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Hold on, let me just drag this up a little bit. There we go. This was one piece of glass. I have to go like this. This was one piece of glass going around. Alright. Red on white. And we removed the red where you see the white. And then we painted the black for the bottom of the soles of the boots to give that effect. So this is removed red, that's white. The red that's left intact. And then above here we used the clear antique and painted the legs, with the red for flesh again. Same as we used for the face. And that, and all this background is the antique clear white. I'm supposed to do that. There we go. And we used I don't recall. I think it was some kind, maybe a seeded white, textured, and then the seeded white textured here, then a ripple, and then again another seeded clear outside border. All right, and then let's see, going over it. With the staff, this is all just white glass with the silver stain here, and then a nice. I believe I used the umber brown. Actually painted the staff as well. I believe that's what I did. Alright, little bit more on the flash glass. All the lines you see, all the white lines in this blue flash glass. The glass was covered in a vinyl resist that you actually use to do sandblasting. It's a thin vinyl. You put it over the glass, and you transfer the design on top of it. Right, all of this, and then you remove wherever you want the white, or in this case it was a clear. This wasn't blue on white. This is blue on clear. Wherever you want the blue removed, you remove the resist, which will expose the blue. Right? And this window, same thing with the red. If you want the white, you got to cover that. Actually, you got to cover the whole thing and then remove where you want the white. from the resist. Then the pieces are bathed carefully, and I have to stress that with a lot of importance, because it's not something commonly used, and I'll explain why we used it. All the detail you see in the flash glass was done with hydrofluoric acid, not hydrochloric, hydrofluoric. It's just extremely corrosive. If you get it on your hands, it'll really mess you up. We had to sign permits for it, and it came in a wax bottle, and you have to wear eye protection and preferably do it outside. If it splashes, you don't even want to get it on the floor. So, or spills. So what happened? You put the glass in with the resistor removed, and you could slowly see the blue glass dissolving. It actually, the hydrofluoric acid is that strong, it dissolves glass. And this could have been done, sandblasted. This whole, you could have sandblasted this, and got similar results. But sandblasting leaves a rough, like textured finish, and a lot of times you didn't want to use a sandblaster because you wanted the glass removed and the glass beneath it to be perfectly clear, without any hazing, put it that way. And this was important on this job because I didn't want it to stand out too heavy, and the event that I had to do a lot of detailed work, so I chose to use the hydrofluoric acid. I've used it before, especially on faces and other emblems and coat of arms. You really wanted the clear glass to come through. All right, and that typically you kind of move the glass around a little bit just to get the acid to work into it. And 10 minutes, maybe 10 to 20 minutes, not even. I would say closer to 10 minutes. But you see the blue and the red removed. I think this took longer because the red on white. But you could see when you see it removed, then it's time to take it out of the acid and put into a washing bath. Actually, you have to neutralize the acid. The best way is just to really dilute it. You put it in a bin filled with water and just let it sit. And then finally go over with the ammonia just to really neutralize it. Make sure it's not active. Years ago, I saw a co-worker in my dad's studio. That can't hurt you, He ended up getting it under his fingernail. I'll tell you, what a mess. And it's almost to a point where if it gets in your skin, it's nearly impossible to stop it. I mean, you can, I guess, take a bath in ammonia and rinse heavily. But it's just this stuff is that dangerous. So a lot of studios won't touch it because of the dangerous nature of it. But that's what I used. And let's see. Center that a little bit more. So when you remove the glass, the plated. Here's a good area right here. You remove the red, and in this case I used a silver stain yellow and tracing black for the finger areas. So what you have to do you paint your black lines first. And here all I used was a number 2 ox hair brush and vinegar. Vinegar is a really good vehicle for paint. Actually, it gives a better uh, fired result than if you used a gum arabic, which will tend to have a textured and a blistery effect. Where the vinegar, or if you use clove oil, lavender oils, whatever, it will give a nice glazed over, smooth appearance to the paint. And that goes for this area. It's like some kind of a pin fob here. In here, you got to paint that and then fire it. All right, so it's one firing, you get the black in. You cool it in the kiln, and then the second and final firing, this would be a 2-fire process, would be the silver stain, which is your yellows and your deep oranges, and you fire that at a lower temperature. You don't want to do it with the tracing blocks, the regular paint. That needs to be fired up to 1225 and have a moderate soak of, say, 10 minutes. The silver stains, you just want to bring them to about 950 and shut it off. Let it, and success with silver stain really relies on a gentle venting, because the paint, I guess, vaporizes, and you want to get it out of the kiln. Now you want to make sure you vent the area, the room you're in too. But I found that if you don't vent silver stains correctly in the kiln, you're going to have issues with blotchiness, spotting, and not all the time, but it happens. And especially with the gold intense, the darker silver stains. So that's really important. For the legs, these are separate. So this is painted with an umber brown, and highlighted with the ox hair brushes, the blenders, or Badger. I believe this is the Badger blender, and it's like a stipple brush to get the highlighting. And whenever you do any kind of shadowing paint, where you really want a soft removal of an area, you don't want it to be choppy, you don't want a rough edge from trying to remove the paint, just use straight water, just regular water. I used distilled water because I didn't want to risk getting any ditchification on the glass. That's a discoloring, a yellowing, a rainbow effect. So if you're going to paint on your glass and fire it, use distilled water. Or you can use vinegar. Vinegar is for the tracing lines. Sorry, I got the wrong mouse. Yeah, so for the highlighting, regular distilled water and umber brown, or this would be red for flesh. If you stipple it gently, and do not use gum arabic, because that actually sticks to the glass too much or too well. So you want to just have the distilled water and paint, the powdered paint, and blend it on, nice blend. Then pull to areas you want it darker. Let that air dry. It'll get like a chalky finish, and come back and very gently remove the paint where you want, highlights. That's really important. You don't want to use any gum at all when you're doing that process. So I think a lot of good painters, actually, they use gum in everything, and you really don't have to. That also goes for this whole headdress. this was all done with the black, tracing black, and these areas were removed with the badger brushes. And this is a terrible photo, but this whole thing was with the lines and the way you would see uh, the detail in this kind of headdress. And so I just wanted to go through this painting process, and there's some real little fine details. All the tracing lines, all I used was black paint with vinegar, and no gum as well. And vinegar, uh, it helps for a good medium, a vehicle for the paint. It floats off the brush really nice, especially when you roll your paintbrush. And if you need to do any cleanup with a fine pen or another brush, it comes off easy enough. Whereas if you use, again, the gum Arabic, you would tend to be choppy. The lines, you get like heavy chipping and choppiness. So again, I avoid the gum as much as I can. The only time, in my opinion, you may want to use it if you want to do a tracing and then do a light, say red for flesh on top, where you could trace it and let the paint dry really well. You could even heat it up a little bit just to get the gum in the paint to stick really well to the glass, and then do a matting of the flesh, the red for flesh paint. But that's like cheating a step. But honestly, if the vinegar itself with the tracing black holds up really well if you do a very light coat. If you're going to do something heavy, you want to fire all your tracing black first and get that permanent, and then come back and do your shadowing, your shading, face colors and shadowing, your umber and ancient browns. And this window, you couldn't avoid a second firing because I had to do a second firing for the silver stains here. But I believe this is a really long time ago. It's probably 45 years, 40, I don't know, a long time ago. The face I did on a triple firing, because I had to get that tracing down really well, lock that in with the detail of the collar. This was all one piece. And once I did that, I did the red for flesh, right? And then the final third firing was the silver stain. So you get the term, stained glass. And you could, even though this was white on blue, these white lines, I'm sorry, wrong mouse again. The white on the blue, you could have done that with the silver stain as well, which would look really nice, the yellow on the blue. But this one didn't call for it. It was, the white on the blue. And then also in the design of this scarf and the kilt, there are black lines that were done with the tracing line. So that even though this was just removed with hydrofluoric acid for the white lines, they were also fired in the kilt to get those black lines. And I believe I did some light shadowing with this too. Not heavy, just a little bit, just to give it a little definition. So those are just a few elements involved with, I was going to say, the anatomy of a stained glass window. And when it's a family friend, it better come out good. So this is probably my second or third attempt painting on glass. So it's more fundamental. I mean, the really good thing about painting on glass is that it's nothing's carved in stone. You know, no pun intended, until you fire it. So if you put paint down, and you say, well, that don't look right, just wipe it right off. More importantly, we didn't have any uh, design software, you know, back in the early 80s. This was all done uh, literally looking over, say, okay, I got to do this. Got this. It wasn't transferred with a projector. It was all done freeform on a piece of paper, and the finished window was roughly, I think it was 27 or 30 wide by 34 high, 42 high. It was for a front door. All right, I just wanted to go over that. So again, the use of hydrofluoric acid. There are times when you really want to, but I strongly recommend just going with the flash glass. The and again the not flash glass, the sandblasting. When you sandblast, even flash glass, when light hits the blasted areas, it will illuminate it. You know, you'll get like a hot spot. So by using hydrofluoric, it really calms that down. It really cools down that area. It doesn't make it so doesn't jump out at you. So I'm getting that. That's you might find that to be something you want to do. But look into using the hydrofluoric acid with care. If you do use it, make sure you're really backed up with what you need to do in case you have an emergency. And that's if you can still get it. I don't know, with the world we live in now, I don't know, but that's what I used here. It came out really well. I wish I had a better picture of this window. It is what it is, but I have the memories, and I have the I could recall how I did it. So if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. Maybe subscribe. Oh, and by the way, we have that giveaway coming up tomorrow, the 30th, for all members. If you're a member, you're in a drawing for the giveaway of the Toyo Supercutter Afterburner combo. That's for members. I'm going to just spin the wheel, and if that number lands on your member number, you're the winner. But honestly, all members are winners, because one of the perks is my pattern collection. I got 2 of my books up on my server. One is the 100 teardrop book, which the book itself retails for over $60. The patterns normally retail over $100, and if you buy the patterns separately, you're looking at $400 worth of patterns. Well, I have that book file available in a special location for my members for only $10. $10 for 100 patterns. And I also have my 60 spinner pattern book file up there for $10. And all my other patterns on my server are half price, even the sale price. If its sale price is 50% off, you get another 50% off that. So my perks don't end here. There's a lot, and I'm going to be giving away many more items, to my members. And it's really worth joining. And or subscribe if you like my videos. subscribe to my channel. There's always something coming up. I'm gonna get more involved with the lamp, discussing how to make lamps, how to make lamp forms, how to make cement, how to make, work with lead, all the do's and don'ts and ifs and that's, and actual, all the aspects of designing stained glass windows. And so I'm not done. I'm just kind of scratched the surface with all my videos, but there's so much more on the way. If you appreciated this little anatomy of a stained glass window, if you liked it, give me that thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. But give me a thumbs down. Say, Gary, I didn't like that. All right. With that, I'll let you go. You folks have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.